So today we're going to dive into the Book of the Heart. It's this really incredible guide to finding a little bit of stillness in our crazy modern lives, and it was written by the Taoist master Loi Ching Yuan. And right out of the gate, the book just hits on this feeling that, well, we all know it, right? That constant chase for success, for recognition, it just clouds our minds and messes with our sense of peace. So the question is, how do we get back to clarity? At its core, this whole work is about a path to fix what Loi Ching Yuan calls our fluttering heart. You know, that inner turbulence and anxiety we all feel. And he's going to be our guide on this path. So, who was this guy? Well, Loi Ching Yuan's life was this really fascinating mix of deep, quiet study and then, being out in the world. He wasn't just some hermit hiding on a mountain. He took all that wisdom and brought it back to society, working as a healer and a teacher, and he even brought these ideas to the West. And that journey from isolation to community really shapes his whole practical approach to things.
Okay, so where do you even start with this kind of inner work? The book lays out a really solid foundation, and it's built on two paths that are completely connected and really form the core of his whole teaching.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? In a world that is constantly pulling us in a million different directions, how on earth do you even begin to find your center?
Well, the answer lies in these two pillars. On one side, you have study. That's the inner work, right? The practice and discipline you need to grow what he calls an inner light. And then on the other side, you've got virtue. That's our outer work, how we actually act in the world and handle temptation. It's not one or the other. They're like two sides of the very same coin. And I just love this metaphor. It's such a beautiful reminder that this isn't about some dramatic overnight change. Cultivating virtue is slow. It's a steady process. You might not even notice the growth day to day, but over time, it builds into something really strong and beautiful. All right, so knowing the path is one thing, but actually walking it, that's a whole different ballgame. So let's look at how the book turns these big ideas into a concrete daily practice. And this is a really crucial point. We can sit around and talk about philosophy all day, but true understanding, that comes from doing. The book is super direct about this. This kind of work takes real, even physical effort. It's not just some intellectual game. The book breaks the actual practice down into these simple but really powerful steps. First, you empty your heart of all that constant chatter. Then, you just sit quietly, find stillness. From there, you actively work to overcome that restless, always wanting mind. And finally, you just let go. You trust the process and let nature take the lead. This is just such a powerful reminder of why that diligent practice matters so much. Time is our most precious resource, the one thing we absolutely cannot get back. Every moment we put into this work is an investment. It's a call to be present, to value the opportunity we have right here, right now. So through all this practice, we start moving toward the ultimate destination, which is a deeper understanding of the Tao, or the Way. And here it is, the great mystery at the heart of the text. This is a concept people have been thinking about for thousands of years, and it completely defies any kind of simple, easy definition. So instead of trying to define the Tao, the book describes its nature. It's elusive. It's not something you can grab or predict. It just moves with this quiet, natural rhythm that's totally beyond our control. And that idea of elusiveness just gets deeper. The Tao has no shape, no clear form. Trying to define it is like trying to hold mist in your hands. You just can't. It's something you have to experience, not possess. And this is where we land, at this beautiful paradox. The ultimate way is that there is no single way. It's not some fixed, rigid path. It's a fluid, responsive way of being that just adapts to the flow of life itself. This all leads us to the key concept of Wu Wei. Now, it's often translated as non-action, but that's not really it. It's not about being passive. In a world that worships constant hustle, Wu Wei is a radical idea. It's the antidote to burnout. It replaces that frantic effort with focused, harmonious action that works with the flow of things, not against it. You know, like a mountain stream that just flows around the rocks. It doesn't fight them, it flows. That's Wu Wei. So we've explored the core ideas, the practice, and the goal. The last question is pretty simple. How do you bring this wisdom into your own life? Okay, let's recap the whole journey real quick. It all starts with recognizing that our fluttering heart is where the unease comes from. We find our calm through that balance of inner study and outer virtue. We know this path demands consistent, daily practice. And this leads to understanding the way through emptiness and non-action. And maybe most important of all, true wisdom is something you live, not something you just talk about.
The master leaves us with one final piece of advice, and it's a call for humility. Real understanding isn't a performance. It's not something you need to broadcast to the world, but a quiet, steady presence that you embody in your own unique way.
So the text suggests that in what we might see as emptiness, we can actually find everything. It doesn't leave us with an answer, but with a question to carry with us. What treasure will you find in your own quiet moments?